Denver Broncos select
Jerry Jeudy. KJ Hamler on the edge, shows his burst.
Wide open at the 5, and there he is. Albert O.
The Broncos used all 10 of their picks over the weekend. They got a lot of firepower on offense and addressed some other needs on the roster. I'm Phil Milani alongside Sidney Jones and Aric DiLalla. We're wrapping up the weekend, and guys, let's just go around here and talk about where we think the Broncos got better. Sidney, you want to start out?
Absolutely. I mean, Phil, you said it. They added a lot of offensive weapons this draft. Definitely one of their best drafts on the offensive side of things in a long time. And I think that's something they've really been struggling with this past couple of years. And Drew Lock has a lot of weapons at his disposal. You have Jerry Jeudy, who drafted in the first round, KJ Hamler second. And even today, they added tight end Albert O. I'm not going to even try to pronounce his last name, guys, from Missouri. And another receiver from Florida, Tyree Cleveland. So I think Drew is going to have a lot of weapons where he's going to be extremely excited to be a QB here. And I think a lot of AFC West teams are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think it would have been easy for the Broncos to go into this draft and take Jerry Jeudy and then look elsewhere, whether that was cornerback. We love the move of getting Lloyd Cushenberry there at center, but it would have been easy to say, hey, we're going to take one receiver and then address a lot of needs. And, you kind of fix things a little bit, but it wouldn't have made a huge difference. And by adding KJ Hamler, by adding Albert O, you now make this offense really explosive. We've already seen reports that they're picking up some more receivers in undrafted free agency. And so this position group could look entirely different next season. I'm not sure that there's anybody that's guaranteed a roster spot that's on the team right now besides Courtland Sutton. And so to me, that's where the biggest change will happen. And then at cornerback too, OJ Mudia, I like that pick. Kind of a high potential guy that still needs to work on some stuff, but physical tackler, and he could make an impact as early as this year. So those were the two big spots on the outside at receiver and cornerback. Broncos got better at both. Broncos
averaged less than 18 points a game last season, near the bottom of the NFL in that regard. And now it seems like they all of a sudden might have one of the best offenses in the NFL, especially if Drew Lock can take a step this upcoming season, his sophomore year. Sidney, did you feel like it was interesting maybe that John Elway and Vic Fangio were even talking to Drew Lock, wanting to get his opinion on Albert, and I'll say it here, Okuwe Buddha?
Yeah, Phil, I thought it was great that Vic and Elway reached out to Drew because Drew knows him really well. And I think in the call, Elway even went as far as saying that Drew loved Albert to death, and Drew knows his game really well. And I thought it was great that both Elway and Fangio wanted to add more to Drew's offensive weapons and someone that he already knows he can connect well to.
Aric, we talked a lot leading up to this draft that maybe with one more good class, the Broncos will get over the hump here and be a playoff contender next season. Did they do enough?
I think it's quite possible. And listen, we still have to see what Drew Lock is in a full season. We were impressed by what he did in those final 5 games of the year. I think what this does more than anything is it gives you a true evaluation of what Drew is. Now you have Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Noah Fant. This is now a level playing field, and the Broncos should be competitive with just about anybody.
On the other side of the ball, we thought maybe they would look at a linebacker. Didn't quite do that until they took a chance on Justin Sternad. He's sort of a safety linebacker type out of Wake Forest. Did you feel like that was worth the risk there, Sidney?
Well, he missed the last 6 games due to an injury, and he's relatively small for a linebacker, but he is really speedy and very athletic. And I know some experts are worrying, about him going up against these big running backs at the pro level, but I think it might be a good risk because he still has a lot of potential to improve, and I think he definitely can do that here.
Aric, did they do enough on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, well, 4 of their picks went to the defensive side of the ball, so it's not like they overloaded on offense. It gets the attention because they used those first 2 picks on him on offense and 3 of the first 4 when you include Cushenberry. But they did their due diligence on day 3 on the defensive side of the ball. And listen, I think it's possible that this guy Sternad can become an impressive player because he has a skill set that the Broncos, they don't have right now. And that's a guy that's an off-ball linebacker that can play coverage. And so is he going to be an immediate 3-down linebacker? Maybe not, whether that's because of his size, because of his inexperience. And so I think Alexander Johnson and Todd Davis are still probably the likely starters there. But if he can come in on third downs and stop a tight end, stop a running back, and we're not sure he can do that, but if he can, then this pick immediately becomes worth it.
Yeah, and then they also took another risk on Netani Mute, another team captain kind of guy, had a lot of injury problems, but they feel like high upside. Then they wrapped up the draft with Tyreek Cleveland and Derek Tuska, outside linebacker out of North Dakota State. Sydney, I know you had a chance to catch up with Tyreek Cleveland. He went to your alma mater.
Yes, he did. Go Gators. I was super excited about that pick. He was one of the top receivers coming out of high school out of Houston. I think he ranked third in the country, but he didn't do a ton at Florida. He didn't really prove himself as an offensive weapon, as we keep talking about, but he does have good special teams skills, and he has great size and speed. And I think he has a lot of potential to be great. I think he just needs to be coached up a little more.
All right, well, it's the end of the draft, so now we got to come up with our grades. Eric?
Yeah, Phil, I think a B+. I know everyone's rushing to give us A's, and I can understand that and appreciate it. I like it even, but there are some guys here that need to prove their worth on the field. I think Jerry Jeudy and Lloyd Cushenberry are kind of the home run, surefire picks that are going to make impacts right away. But I want to see KJ Hamler get on the field and be that third wide receiver. I want to see OJ Mudia challenge for that third cornerback position and make an impact in his first year. I want to see some of these day 3 picks find a way on the field, whether that's on special teams or on offense or defense. And I think it has the potential to be a home run of a class to build on what they've done in 2018 and 2019. But I don't want to hand out an A here on day 1.
Wow, stingy there. Sydney, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Eric a lot on that. I think I might give an A- though, just because of all the offensive weapons that we did load. And I cannot wait to see the Sutton Jerry Jeudy duo that we have. And I understand what Eric's saying about KJ Hamler, but after talking to Coach Franklin about him, I think he's going to be really great in the slot and really explosive. So for me as a whole, just thinking offense wise, I know we took a lot on the defense as well, but I give us a A-.
Sydney, one thing you'll learn about Eric is that he likes to hedge. So he'll say, I think this is a B+, but it could be really a home run class. So we'll see.
I did notice he said that.
I'm a step ahead.
All right. Well, now
what's your grade?
Huh?
Where's your grade?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, I hedge.
I'm going to take the political out there.
Yeah.
As they say, I'm not going to do that. No, I would say I agree. I think an A- with the potential to be A+. I think that if the Broncos could, I think once they hit the field, we'll have a better idea, obviously. But there's no reason why the Broncos offense couldn't score 35 points a game.
Yeah, I think on paper that's true. Let's see it. Let's prove it, and then I'll be a little more. I'll come join your pep rally in your home, Phil.
Sounds good. Well, normally the rookies would be coming for rookie minicamp, hitting meetings. Not the case this year, but the Broncos will start virtual meetings on Monday. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Aric DiLalla and Sydney Jones, I am Phil Milani.